Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains. Say hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
So, what we do on this podcast every week is we take a look at the biggest stories in XR from the previous week, and today we're jumping in with a big one. MetaConnect is coming.
Yeah. So rather than talking about last week, we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming this week.
Don't break the rules, Pete.
I know, exactly. Meta Connect, which one's this now, Kev? This is like 10, 12,
Is it? No, it's like eight,
8.
right?
Okay, fair enough. But I think this is going to be a very different Meta Connect to a lot of the previous ones. A lot of the previous ones have been, highly VR focused with some extra, little bits added on. This one, I think, is going to be a lot less focused on VR. It's going to be more AI. It's going to be far more smart glasses and AR. And then we're going to get, I think, a couple of maybe a couple of VR tidbits, but that's about it, really. Don't you
It's going to
think?
be the other way around, isn't it? Previously, it's been VR and also this stuff, and this year it's going to be this stuff and also VR, in my opinion. Could be proved completely wrong. We could get a Meta Quest 4. Highly doubt it. But yes, I think it's going to be driven by here are smart glasses and AR on board, AI on board, by the way, also our AI, and here's a couple of new VR games. That's my
Yeah.
take on it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a little like VR showcase for the games, aren't they? Without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, it's going to be talking about maybe Hypernova or Project Celeste. It's going to have I expect the EMG, EMG wristbands as well for Hypernova. And like you say, it's going. I'm expecting updates as well. The Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses they've been doing stonkingly well, so I'm expecting updates on that. Maybe better cameras, or lightweight, better battery life, something along those lines. I expect a few updates. Yeah,
I expect to hear some more about Project Orion as well, because when that was revealed, that went down super well in the internet communities. So I expect even just a mention of the fact that it's still coming and it's still being worked on, maybe a little sizzle reel, some of the stuff it can do. But nothing like a price or a date or anything like that. Just this is what we've got now, and hey, look, this is the super sexy thing we're going to get in a few years.
yeah, I agree. I think if there is going to be a mention of Quest at all, it's going to be about what they've done with Quest so far. Ecosystem updates, all that sort of jazz. Games that have
And Batman 2.
maybe Batman 2. Yeah, it's gonna be talking about the progress that has been made, but not necessarily the future of.
Yeah. We will get an update of how many games have made $1 million in revenue again, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Going, yeah, look at the success. Even though we know that their VR department is losing billions at the same time.
That's fine. I don't care if Meta lose billions on VR as long as our devs that are making content for it are making money.
Precisely. The one thought I did have rather on VR was the Azus. Do you remember a ROG? I think it's called Tarius. Their collaboration, Azus and Meta's collaboration on like a enterprise headset, wasn't it? I wonder if that might make an appearance.
That's a good point actually, because they did do this big song and dance about licensing the Quest out to different OEMs, right? And the Xbox Quest was one of these, and we've had that now.
Hmm.
So where are the others? Maybe that's going to be the big VR news, the fact that the Quest 3 or Quest 3S is going to be launching from different partners, perhaps in new markets where Meta don't operate.
Maybe we'll get a white and blue one. It'll be a Sony partnership.
Not so sure about that one. Don't place your bets on Pete.
Yeah, maybe not that one. That's a bit of a wild one.
So, everyone watching this out there in internet land, if you reckon you've got a big scoop that's going to happen at MetaQuest this week, please let us know. Drop it in the comments. Hit us up on X/Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever. Love to know what you're thinking is going to happen at MetaConnect this week.
Mm, exciting stuff. Stay tuned.
And then also next week is Tokyo Game Show, which, as I mentioned last week, I shall be attending. So if you're going, if you've got something cool to show me in AR, VR, MR, RRRR, please reach out. Let's grab coffee, or rather tea, because I'm British.
Very good.
Moving on. This one's one for me. This is my news of the year.
This was such a curveball, and I don't think anyone was quite expecting this, were they? Virtual Boy Reborn. It comes back from the dead after, what, 30 years? More than 30, maybe 30,
I
30-osh,
don't know, something like that.
30 plus years, mid 90s. Yeah, yeah. Nintendo announced that they're making a Virtual Boy accessory for Nintendo Switch and Nintendo
Two,
Switch 2.
two Virtual Boy accessories.
Yeah, yeah, I'll get to that. There's a lot to discuss and unravel here, and wonder why they've done stuff. But yes, the Virtual Boy accessory, and as Kez points out, there are two. There is one that looks exactly like the original Virtual Boy, in nice plastic, which you'll put your Switch into, and there is a cardboard one, which if you just want something cheap and cheerful. Why is this? It's because they are releasing Virtual Boy games on the online store for Switch next year. And yeah, if you want to play these games, you're going to need a headset of some sort to split it. And yeah, they've made these accessories, and these are fanboy accessories. These are well and truly like, yeah, if you love Nintendo, you are going to buy this because otherwise, okay, what's the point? Do you really want to play Virtual Boy games? Were they ever that particularly good? I know the hardware was more of the failing point rather than the software, but still,
Oh no,
what's your
Wario
take?
Land.
What,
Wario Land was amazing.
okay, what's your
Yes.
take on this?
So I am a Virtual Boy owner. I think it's 3 games shy of the full collection of Virtual Boy games. Not all are boxed, sadly, but most. Um, but yes, I am super keen on this. I'm very grateful to Pete here, who has volunteered to buy me both versions of the Virtual Boy hardware for Christmas this year, so that I can have a Virtual Boy lineup with the original, the plastic, and the cardboard. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. And I will be purchasing, well, I won't be purchasing because I assume they're part of the Nintendo Online service, right? Because you have to be a Nintendo Online member to get this. Um,
That
so Pete will be buying me the hardware, but all the games will be part of the Nintendo Online service, so maybe I can play them all for free. Wouldn't that be amazing? But yes, Virtual Boy, totally mine.
See, now it would be great if it was just a case of, yeah, you buy the accessory, you got your membership, and you just go away. But I think if you've read any of the news stuff about this and read some of the people commenting, Nintendo have made this very convoluted and
Typical Nintendo.
unnecessarily expensive. And there's a reason why if you've read angry comments, I'm angry as well because it's just like at some point you could just go, why? So yes, as you mentioned, you need a Nintendo Online membership. You also need the premium membership, which has the expansion pack to be able to access the Virtual Boy games. You also need a Nintendo Online membership just to be able to pre-order these, and it's only going to be for one account. So if I order it and I for some reason decide to order it for Mr. Kevin, I would then not be able to order one for myself. That would be it. I'd then shoot myself in the foot. So yes, you can only order one for yourself, unless I don't know, there's someone finds a cracker around it. But yes, you need that online membership to start with, and then there's the actual price of the plastic Virtual Boy itself. It's $100, or in UK money, it's about £67, which is the price of a game. Uh, or if you want the cardboard version, and which this one's a little bit more of a stinger, it's $25 for the cardboard headset. About 17 pounds over here.
It surely has lenses in it as well. It's not just cardboard.
Yeah, yeah, but Google were making lots of cardboard headsets, and I don't remember it costing £25.
I never paid for one. So.
Well, most people didn't. A lot of the time you got them for free, and they had lenses in them as well, and all the rest of it. This one does have a very nifty black and white, design. It is Nintendo, but I don't know whether that cost saving of $75 is maybe worth it. Where you could, at least the Virtual Boy accessory looks cool. At least it does look,
To
and
put this into perspective, though, I bought my Virtual Boy, obviously boxed, okay, but second hand 20 odd years ago for like £100. So in today's money, that would be like what, £170? So like $200. So put it into perspective, it is definitely better than buying a second-hand Virtual Boy, of which they are very limited. So yeah,
If you want it, yes.
I'm not the biggest champion of Nintendo's business practices. I do think they make some poor consumer-focused decisions. But this, I am going to defend. I want it. I'm Pete's gonna spend that money for me. It's mine.
I'm really like split on this decision. I haven't bought a Switch 2 because I'm still split on the decision of whether it's actually worth it or not, and whether to spend £100, well, like $100 on an accessory where you only have access to, I think it's 14 games they're going to have.
14.
Is that is the total, like just the total library in general in
Yeah,
physical?
that's every game.
Yeah.
Every game that was actually released. There are, I think it's 7 other games that we know of that never got released.
Okay, okay. Well, all of this is coming out on the 17th of February 2026. So you've got time to make your pre-orders if you want to have some really retro VR experience. And maybe this will be some sort of like Labo tie-in. Maybe they might do something, oh, everyone's got this Virtual Boy thing. Maybe we can add in some, you know, some of the stuff from.
Got a point here. This is one thing I noticed in the announcement. At no point did they say it was VR. They always referred to it as stereoscopic 3D gaming. They never said it was VR because they know that the outcry of VR has moved on. VR back in the mid early 90s, this was a, a VR-ish experience. But compared to modern VR, it is not VR. It is just a stereoscopic screen that you put your head in. So yeah, I think Nintendo's messaging was pretty clever.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not going to repeat stereoscopic 3D gaming every time I want to refer to the accessory. Oh, I could just go, it's like VR. It makes it easy.
It's like early 90s cheap VR.
Yeah, yeah. Which is fine.
Anyway, we got to wrap up. We spent too long talking about VR that's not VR, and so we're going to dive into some VR that is VR. We're going to start with a toy.
A toy. Star Wars. Star
It's a
Wars is
virtual toy.
it's not a virtual. Star Wars Beyond Victory. We've got a release date for this mixed reality game on MetaQuest. It's coming out on the 7th of October, and it's coming from IML Lab. You know the peeps behind Vader Immortal and Galaxy. What was it called? Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. And yeah, you're essentially it's what you're going to say, Kev. I feel like you're.
It's called Virtual Playset. It's a toy.
Well, it's in mixed reality. It's not a virtual. And also, there's a campaign where you're a pod racer. You're a novice pod racer. You're teaming up with Sebulba from Star Wars Episode One. It's set during the sort of solo Star Wars story era, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. I loved Vader Immortal and all the other stuff. This one, I'm a bit less. Meh. I'm not 100% sold on this at the moment.
Don't get me wrong, I will play it and I will probably enjoy it, but it is VR toys. It's VR action figures. That's what we're getting here.
Yeah. Well, you get to race pod racers and all the rest of it in mixed reality.
Will it make the lightsaber sounds for you, or do you have to do them yourself? That's the
If
question.
you're not doing it yourself, then you're
You're
just
not
not
really
a
playing.
proper fan. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, to wrap up, we have a new game from Shell Games.
Yeah, Shell Games, who have VR veterans who have made some classic games like I Expect You to Die, have announced their next game, and very telling of the current industry at the moment. They have announced that Project Freefall will be a free-to-play game coming. Well, actually, I don't know when it's due out, to be fair, but it's a skydiving party game. So you'll jump 8 players. You'll jump out of a plane. There'll be a parachute that falls between you, and one of you has to grab the parachute before you hit the ground. And that is basically it. And if you have the parachute, you've got to evade everyone, and everyone has got grenades and sharks, and there's landscape you can hide in and fall through, and all the rest of it. It actually does look kind of cool, and it does look kind of fun.
It
Um,
sounds adequately ridiculous.
It does sound utterly ridiculous, and because it's from Shell Games, I'm sure it's going to be a top quality.
Indeed.
and it's going to be coming to Quest and PC VR. It's also going to be flat screen supporting as well with VR crossplay. So hopefully that should ensure lots of people are going to be able to play it, and those 8 member, lobbies are going to be filled quite nicely
Well done.
whenever they decide to bring it out. I don't know yet.
So that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, let us know what you think is going to happen at MetaConnect, and also, if you're going to TGS, drop me a line. And I'll see you all again next week. Thank you very much.